All right, guys, welcome to another episode. I'm Orlando.
And I'm Omar,
We're the Smart Bros.
and this is the Smart Take.
All right, guys, so we want to start this episode off by saying so we know we say we're going to be consistent, and while we are going to continue to do that, we are college students, and this last week was very busy for the both of us. We had finals, so there's a lot going on. We had, we school comes first, so want to make sure we take care of that. And then so this we weren't really able to get into our predictions. So this episode will really just be more of our how we felt about the Jaguars game we just had.
For
So
sure.
you want to start us off? How do you feel about that?
I just, it's just a Cowboys thing to do. I don't want to be that guy, but it's like when Stephen A. Smith said, "Just wait for it, just wait for it." It's always gonna happen. I don't. Uh, Micah said after that Packers loss, he'll never allow the team to lose if his QB's up 14 points. We were up 17. I don't really know what we're doing. We don't have a real identity anymore. It's like, what's our high point? Our offense is our defense. Our defense used to be crazy. Like our defense used to hold people to 20 points. That defense has been non-existent. And of course, we've had injuries. Vander has got hurt in the first drive. Anthony
That
Brown.
was big. I noticed that once he got out, I was very apparent we were missing Leighton in that
So
game.
maybe we've been wrong about Layden. Maybe it's
Oh,
bigger than
well,
what we can just see. I don't
I
know.
I feel like we've said this season he's definitely stepped it up. I can't recall
Yeah,
if we've
okay,
said it
that's
on the
true. Maybe
pod,
we
but
were
in our
just,
conversations we've definitely given
yeah,
him his props this year.
maybe we were just trying to compare him still to his rookie year where he was the real
Yeah,
wolf hunter, but he's
and I want
done
to
a pretty good job.
yeah, and I also want to say hopefully he recovers pretty soon because when they first reported it, they said it was a neck injury, and I got very scared. I was just for him as a person, just because that could be a very serious injury for him. He's had neck problems in the past, so hope they said it was
Yeah, it says a
they
shoulder
a
sprain
shoulder sprain. So I
or
mean,
nerve,
obviously, you don't
something
want
like
him to
that.
be hurt, but hopefully that's a lot better than a neck injury. So yeah, continue.
Yeah, Dak, he played. I think he played well. I think he had a very good game. Obviously, he had only one incompletion in the first half. We were up 27-10. I mean, what more can you ask for? That's the kind of offense you want your team to play, especially against a 5-8 team. We were doing what we were supposed to do. The first pick, I mean, I'm not gonna make excuse for him. His arm did get hit, but hey, he even came out and said something. Maybe I gotta tuck that, but I'm tired of the excuses everybody's making. Like you said, like in one of the last episodes, like I don't know what the deal is, what the reason is, but it needs to stop happening. It just can't continue to. He has 11 picks in 9 games. Like that's not the Dak Prescott we've grown accustomed to. Even if you don't say he's not good, this and that, he only missed one game last year. Only had 10 picks. So how do you have 9 games, 11 picks? I just multiple games with multiple picks in a game. I don't really know what's going on. Maybe it's lack of receivers. Maybe it's lack of route concept. Maybe he's just trying to be somebody he's not. I don't really know what it is, but I need it to stop now. Like we're literally going to the playoffs. We're about to play the Eagles. We can't just keep getting multiple turnover games like this. We're not going to just beat if we can't beat a 5-8 Jaguars, we're not going to beat a what are they 12-1, 13 and
Yeah,
one
absolutely.
Eagles. It's not gonna work, especially going to the playoffs. Zeke and Pollard, they had pretty good games. They were running very effectively. I just hate when Kevin Moore was like, it's like I saw somebody tweet, maybe it's just not pretty enough for him. Like if it's working, don't if it's not broken, don't fix it. I know
And
you're
then
gonna bring up the 3rd and 10 later in the game, but or later in the episode, but it just doesn't make sense. If we're running effectively, if we're averaging around 4 yards per carry for both backs, what are we doing here, people?
and the
Just run
crazy
the ball.
And the crazy thing is, he'll stop running the ball like with the plays that work, and then run the same plays that don't work over and over again. I was completely
Like
baffled.
on that last possession, we got overtime. He ran. All right, so we ran it with TP first. We had him in the behind deck. He say come up. He gets inside him. Read. It wasn't a read option. It was like an inside zone or something like that. He ran there like 2 times, bro. It didn't go anywhere. Now, You think we should run it again? Like, let's run it again. Does it again. Then it was with Zeke. If that's you should fake hand it off and run something else because that for like, oh, he's gonna come right. We know exactly where he's going. He gets so obvious. He doesn't like. We have an offense. We have enough playmakers. I feel like to where we could run a lot of trickery. A lot, not well, no, because when we run trickery, we mess up. We don't even have to run trickery.
Just scheme things.
Yeah, just like we'll run all four people, all four verts, all four curls. Like we can't have misdirection with routes. We can't have a like I remember last year we would run a handoff to Zeke and he would run to the side and we have TP coming out the backfield. If they take Zeke, he flips it to them. That I wonder what's that percentage rate of work because that worked every time. It seemed like when I saw it. So why not run some things like that when we're on some short downage instead of just trying to run Zeke up the middle every play when they know that's coming. But overall, man, like I'm not saying it's the end of the world. Everybody has losses, of course. You can't lose this game. I don't think you can't be up 27-10 and blow a lead like that. I mean, it is what it is. We're 10-4 at the end of the day. We're in the playoffs because the Commanders lost. We got to start getting ready for the playoffs, start getting ready for the Eagles. But I mean, I guess it is what it is. Tough loss, especially the way we lost. But how do you feel about it?
Yeah, man, I'm pretty much the same way. So when the game first ended, I was very mad at a few different people. I was mad at Kellen Moore, of course, because I thought the play calling after we got that turnover was atrocious. I hated every single play we called. I was mad at our defense because up until that turnover, that second half they just did not come to play. They weren't because the pass one thing that helps us not having a second corner right now would be a very effective pass rush, and they weren't really getting that much pressure on them, and we really haven't in the past few weeks. And so that's been the biggest downfall on top of the injuries to the secondary. They're not that with those people being out, with Micah, DeMarcus, Osa, if they can all get to the quarterback, then he's gonna make throws he doesn't want to make. He's gonna.
Well, one thing is it seemed like they just weren't wrapped up. He escaped multiple tackles where he wrapped up and he gets out of it.
That hurt.
On his fumble. He was supposed to get sacked right there. I mean, we ended up getting a fumble, but like, what are we doing? But keep going. My bad. I just want to.
No, you're right. No, for sure, I definitely agree with that. And then I was mad at Dak Prescott because of that because like you said, I was gonna bring it up because of that third down play. While I did think it was because initially I thought it was a bad play, but I thought maybe like at the end of the day, Dak, you don't throw that. Even if a play is called for Michael Gallup to run that route, you don't throw that ball.
That was Noah Brown.
No, you're not Michael Gallup. Yeah, Noah Brown. You don't throw that ball because at the end of the day, we just need the clock to be running. Whether we get a first down or not right there, if we can keep the clock running on that play, the Jaguars use their timeout there, and then whether or not then that field goal they got does not happen that way. There's no way they drive down the field in the amount of time they had with no timeouts and get a field goal off, in my opinion. But and then once I saw the play, once I saw the full field view of the play, I couldn't be mad at Dak even if I wanted to be. And anyone who is mad at Dak is just a hater at this point because that play Kellen called literally sent 3 receivers all the way down the field on 3rd and 10 when all we needed was to keep the clock running.
Right side. So he was like, I mean, I'm we'll pick the one-on-one matchup.
Yeah, I don't understand how that could even be an option in that situation. So I take all the blame off Dak for that game because, like you said, I think he played very well. He had one pick that I'll put on him, and then that second one. I mean, I can't even fathom how you can say that interception is Dak Prescott's fault. Like Noah Brown will come out and say, and even if you want to say, oh, well, of course he's going to say that. No, man, there's no way as a receiver the ball can hit you in the chest. It hit him like right here in between these numbers. Like you got to catch that, man. Like,
and it would have been a first down.
Would have been a first down. Would have kept the play going. And then not even that. Not even the way you drop it. The way he dropped it, he coughed it up just like I don't even understand how that happened. And
how did it not drop and fall like to the finish hand for a pick six? I'm sitting there thinking like, there's just no way that
It was
Really,
ridiculous.
dude.
Like
Like if
almost, it
he
was almost
dropped it, we
comical.
punted, and they drove down the field and got a field goal, that's one thing. But like that, come on,
That's
man.
it. And it's
What's
just
going
like,
on?
and as soon as it happens, you know exactly what the narrative is going to be. Oh, Dak threw,
Dak,
Dak,
this and
and
that.
it's other than winning a Super Bowl, I don't even think, which I still don't even think would be enough. I don't know what he could do to get the
They were just
respect
saying,
of,
oh, he has a great old line. Micah
and it's
Parsons
and
has a
it's not
crazy
even
running back.
literally, and it's not even the haters that like. Of course, I don't want Eagles
It's a
fans
lot
to
of the
like him. I don't
Cowboys.
want, yeah, like it's us. It's supposed the guys that are supposed to like be. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Almost like
And,
they wish he played bad. But do they not realize if he plays good, we can win? Like,
That
you
no,
know,
that's the thing.
that's what
They
doesn't make
want to be
sense.
able. That way. If he plays bad, they can be like, "Oh, I told you he sucks," and then if we win, then their team wins. So it's like,
Yeah.
I guess, but that's just a terrible way to like rep a team for me. So I can never.
Another
That's
thing
gonna
is
be.
about that pass to Noah Brown. Why do we have CD Lamb setting the pick and not Noah Brown setting the pick?
Yeah.
Now, regardless, you're right. Noah Brown's got to catch that. T.Y. Hilton's got to catch that. Omar Smart's got to catch that.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's got
Literally.
to catch that ball. It's not like it got tipped. He said he didn't see it come out of his hand, but sometimes you're not going to. But regardless,
You saw when it
the
hit
only,
you.
the only other place it could hit him is in the face, and it
Yeah.
would that's like, you know, you got to be able to catch that 10 times out of 10. Like sometimes you'll drop pass, but not in that situation. Nobody tipped it. And then the way you drop it into a pick six. And then that's how we lose. And another
And,
thing, that loss, it's so much worse because I don't know if Jalen Hurts is going to play this next game. They say he might. They say he could miss 2 games with his shoulder sprain, but hypothetically, let's just say he misses the next 2 games. We now need to lose all 3. If we win this game and then Jalen Hurts doesn't play, we beat him. We beat them when they play us, which I wouldn't be hearing nothing from no Eagles fan if they
oh
lose.
yeah.
They beat us with Cooper Russell. If they can't beat us with their backup QB, they're frauds just like we were. I mean, I
Exactly.
think they're a good team, but the thing is that how they would play us because we didn't have
Exactly.
our starting quarterback. But yeah, so now if we would have won this game, we would have only been down 1 game with them. If once we go beat them, and then they've got to win they've got to at least win one of the next 2 games, because if they only lost 1, we'd have the same record. We'd win the NFC, you know.
Exactly.
So now we shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah.
We have to hope for a miracle, have them lose all 3, which I just doubt that happens even with the backup quarterback. So
It
go
was
ahead.
just like it was just like the Packers when we lost to the Packers. Every time the Eagles like give us a chance to take control of our destiny, we slip up in the like in an unrelated way. Like we lose to the Packers, and then they end up losing to the Commanders, and it's like, come on, man, we handled our business. That would have happened, and then we're good. And then we lose to the Jags, and then Jalen Hurts end up getting hurt, and he might miss the next 2 games. And at that point, he'll probably sit the rest of the season. If
But
like,
me
well,
personally, I'd rather play Jalen Hurts that way. I
oh,
can truly see where we
absolutely,
are as a team. That's the
absolutely.
difference between us and Eagles fans. They
I
probably
want, yeah,
glad they play Cooper Rush, but I personally rather play Jalen Hurts
for
because that way
sure.
there's no excuses. But even if he doesn't play and we win, I'm not hearing nothing that they're saying, only
Exactly.
because they weren't hearing nothing we were saying when Cooper Rush played. I've had multiple debates, and I know you have too.
Oh,
Oh, we beat
absolutely.
y'all this and that. You beat us by 9 with a backup QB through 3 picks. I'm not hearing it. Like,
Yeah.
congrats, I guess, but we
Even
literally had a
even at
backup
Dak's
QB.
even at Dak's worst this year, he's throwing all the picks he's on. He's never thrown 3 in 1 game. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
And that
I
was
mean,
against the Packers when well, I mean, I don't know if any of the games both have been his fault, but I know for a fact one was against the Packers, the other one was with Dalton Schultz. I don't know what he was
yeah,
doing, but I'm trying not to, I'm trying not to be biased and just giving him all these passes, this and that. But I also saw some stats today that said he's tied for first with picks that are deemed non-turnover worthy. So that means like they were not supposed to be picks. That's 6 of his 11. I mean,
I can live with 5 picks.
5 picks. I mean, you can live with 5 picks because hey, sometimes you're gonna throw picks. I mean, Patrick Mahomes threw 3 picks in 1 game one time this year against the Broncos. Yeah, against the Broncos. So I mean, hey, sometimes pick happen, but when you get to the double digits is where it's like, especially when you've only
relax.
played 9 games.
Yeah,
5 and
you
9 is a
haven't
lot
even played
more
double
reasonable
digit
than 11.
games. Yeah,
What'd you say?
I said you haven't even played double-digit games, so yeah, like to
Yeah,
be
so
another
it's just
bit.
unacceptable. And I don't even think he's playing bad overall. It's just
Yeah,
he just has these little blip. And then no, when I watch the Cowboys, I just be like, I don't know if it's just you, but I'd be like, something's about to happen. And it's just like when one
yeah.
thing happens, everything happens. Like if they score, I'd be like, oh God, if we don't score here, we might be
No,
in. And that's what scared me the most about the playoffs.
I said it during I was watching the game with my friend Lance, and I was telling him like once we're not very good at regaining momentum. Once we lose momentum, it's that point. It's like, oh my God, well here we go. And
It seems
then
like even if we're up 17, if they score once and we're only up 10, it's like they're now
uh
up 10, you know?
yeah,
It's kind of like I don't really know why it's like that. And
yeah,
I know it needs to change. And I don't know how that's gonna happen with the way our defense has been playing, because usually they've been our strong suit. Usually they come out, get a stop. That's why I hate getting ball first, because we always come out flat. Like I literally cannot remember a time where we did not come out flat first possession. I know we scored like one time this year, but I just hate getting ball first, and I hope we stop doing that. I know what they're trying to do, set the tone offensively, but
yeah,
we set
man.
the tone defensively. But the way the defense has been playing, they're just
That's
not the
probably
same.
That's probably like in terms of things like that we choose to do and we can change. Probably absolutely like my other than that wide receiver one-on-one screen. That's probably like my
And our
least
screen
favorite
passing in general.
Decision we make by receiving the ball every single time. I don't. One, our defense has been the way it was holding us together, even with Cooper Rush, even with that. Like that's where I feel like that's where this team changes. If we can finally get a defense that can stop anybody, that can hold teams to under 20 points, that's how we go win a Super Bowl. And so, and another thing, I'm glad you brought up T.Y. Hilton because I was very upset. Like when the game started and it said he was going to be inactive, I was confused. I was like, what was the point of bringing? Because I at that point I was so sure that him coming back for the Eagles game was gonna be the reason we lost that game. I was like, man, they're just messing it up. Having that be his first game back is not gonna bode well for us. And now at this point, now that everything that's going on, things are kind of changing now that we lost this game. But I was very confused on why he wasn't playing. And then the game started, and then Noah Brown was playing great. He had 2 touchdowns, was catching a lot of things, and I couldn't have been more happy. I was literally, as Lance, I was saying in the game, oh, we don't even need Ty. Let him know Noah Brown like to like talk your stuff. And then he has that drop, and it's like, well, dang, do we need Ty? Because Ty can probably make all those plays that Noah Brown was making, but then he'll also make the next play, that last play. You got to make every play, Noah Brown. You can't just have
Yeah,
those 2
you're
touchdowns
not in
and
a
then,
position where you can afford to have a play
yeah,
like that. Like, I'm not
literally.
even saying you have to catch every pass, but you can't make a play like that.
Yeah, and that's where I'm saying it's like, come on, like if we have T.Y. Hilton, we should have been using him. And so if so now that if he's playing in this Eagles game, so that should really open some things up because I feel like I've seen some stats about the way CD Lamb gets open versus the way Michael Gallup and Noah Brown get open. It's not even close. CD was being triple teamed this game,
And it didn't,
literally
and it
triple
literally didn't
teamed.
matter.
And
He's truly being a number one receiver, because I
yeah,
saw multiple double team, and he seems to still be open, and they get his run after catch is amazing. He's
yeah,
juking people. Sometimes he likes to truck people. He's doing what we needed him to do, what we paid him to do. But it just
exactly.
makes me think, why would we sign Michael Gallup? We could have had Amari Cooper. That way, because Amari Cooper is obviously better than Michael Gallup. So then it's thinking, Michael, we could have Amari Cooper, we could have CD. If those are 2 receivers, hey, and we were
Yeah,
still losing, at that point we don't deserve it, because those 2 receivers, Amari Cooper literally has more catches and more touchdowns and more receiving yards than Michael Gallup and Dalton Schultz combined. And I'm already not as big as Dalton Schultz as I used to be. I'm okay
oh
with
yeah.
those 2 rookies playing.
Oh,
So we
absolutely.
should, in my eyes, we should have played Amari and let them 2 walk, especially if we're going to get those 2 rookie. I mean, obviously, you don't always know when rookie players are going to do well, but they play well enough. So this next year, I do not think we need to sign Dalton Schultz back. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think Dalton Schultz will be on the team. Those rookies definitely because Dalton he got hurt earlier in the year, and there was no drop off in production at the tight end spot. And honestly, those guys are there's a slight edge to me because Dalton isn't he has some good blocks here and there. He's gotten better, but in terms of in the
I remember he
like
had like one good block
yeah,
that I
he's
can
not
remember.
that
I
good
can't
and
even remember
he's
which
not that
one.
good of a blocker. So it's like,
And he's not like he's not a Travis Kelsey
yeah.
receiving
Oh,
type.
like,
He moves like Jason Witten.
he loses himself money every game with the drop.
I
It's
literally
it,
tell Dad that every game. Dalton Schultz, look at Dalton Schultz losing the money. And every time those other tight ends, look at Dalton Schultz losing himself money.
Yeah, man. I don't. We so from there, and then I don't. Michael Gallup, since coming back from injury, just hasn't really lived up to that number two spot. Him and Noah Brown are just honestly fighting for the number two receiver spot. I gave
That's
it.
outrageous.
Yeah, Noah Brown was the number. Michael Gallup before he got hurt. Noah Brown was the number two, and then Michael Gallup came in and was supposed to take that role over and move Noah Brown to number three, but he just has not done that. I tried to give him a game or two coming back from an ACL, but I mean, come on, man, you got to step it up. You can't. We need you to be
We
our number
can't
two.
just
That's why
look to
we paid you.
speed to save us. Like I know that's what number one receivers is supposed to do, but like, where's our T. Higgins to our Jamar Chase? You know
Yeah,
that you can't tell me T. Higgins don't be go crazy as a number two receiver. Like,
yeah,
and I'm not saying Michael Gallup has to go get 100 yards a game, 2 touchdowns, but 0 catches, 1 target. And I'm not, and Dak is the type of person to try to spread the well. So that just
yeah.
means he probably just was not open.
And
So
then
I mean, that's we got to figure that out.
the season as it's been going, he scored in his first game back, and then went weeks without it. Then I think his next touchdown was last week before the week before the Jaguars. So it's
Yeah.
like we need more production from our receivers because they don't have the excuse now as our cornerbacks. I mean, at least Anthony Brown and Kelvin Joseph, they were bad. Anthony Brown's hurt now. We're at fourth and fifth string cornerbacks now. Like these are our receivers that we paid to be in this position, and that can't happen.
I agree. But before we get out of here, I have one last question. What do you think the defense needs to do for us to go on forward? Because we gave up 500 yards and we scored. They allowed 27 points in the second half. What do you think the answer is? If there was just one answer,
Honestly, I think we need more. Our safeties. I'm very confused with our safeties right now because our receivers, I mean, not our receivers, our cornerbacks are getting beat deep over the top. And so it's like, who is Dan Quinn just leaving those mediocre guys on the islands by themselves? But why are they doing that? But if that's the case, then our safeties would be up and our run defense should be good. And it's not. So I'm kind of confused on what's going on here. So
I agree.
maybe it's
We gave up like 300 or 400 passing yards, but then we also gave up 100 plus rushing yards. So
yeah.
it's like, are they in the box or are they not? Because if they're
Yeah,
not,
where are they?
then there should be nothing over the top.
Yeah.
Unless they're okay, even if they're just one of these passes that gets passed, like I guess that sometimes happens. But if they're over the top, or if they're over the top, that means nothing should be over. But if they're in the box, why is our run game? I agree, especially
Yeah,
because our safeties tackle very well. So I don't know what the
exactly.
real issue is either.
Yeah.
DQ has, and I'm gonna give
Maybe
him
it's
a
a scheme
he,
thing.
he seems to be solid. I don't know, like he's had a good season last year, a good season up to now this year. So I'm gonna give him some leeway because it's not like Kellen. He's just been consistently bad this throughout the last 2 years after Dak got hurt last year. So I'm definitely gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully he can change that. But I feel like we're giving him too many passes, right? I feel like we're giving him too many passes right now. So I just hope we can figure that out because it's time.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think like more structured and strategic safety play. And then I mean, then we're at the point where we're so far in the season to where any injuries now is just the next man up, and so that next guy has to be able to step up, and we haven't really had that, so we got to find some depth, and that's the only thing that's going to make our defense better right now.
Yeah, I agree. All right, guys, make sure y'all keep liking, commenting, subscribing. We appreciate the support. We're gonna get our video for the the Eagles game upcoming. We should have that posted by Friday, I think, because the game's on Saturday. So we're gonna try to get that posted by Friday. We will actually be at the game. So it should be I mean, I don't know what kind of experience it's gonna be. Hopefully a good one. I don't need. Hopefully, it could be a Merry Christmas. Who knows with these guys? They're so up and down because we're the type to lose to the Jags, like we lost to the Packers, come out and smack them. But that's another reason I want Jalen Hurts to play, because I want us to smack them with Jalen Hurts if that ends up happening. So there's no excuses, even though I'm not hearing, like I said before. But yeah, take us out.
And I want to say we will have a couple Eagles fans on the podcast for that episode. It's a big game, and so it's the biggest rivalry in my opinion for the Cowboys and the Eagles, and so we're gonna have a couple guys who have some real good insight on the team. But that'll be another episode. I'm Orlando.
And I'm Omar.
We're the Smart Bros,
and this is the Smart Take.